Hey guys, welcome back. It's been several days since I've made a video. I could have been done with probably like episode 7 by now if I would have kept up my uploads. So, how is it playing on the witch's side? It feels strange. I used to think that the witch's side had such a huge advantage, but now that I'm on that side, I see that it's ridiculous. It's almost like the game where you stick knives in a barrel and try not to stab the mustache guy inside. From the perspective of the human side, it feels like trying to shoot at a target hidden by mist. But from the witch's viewpoint, a stray shot might hit and become fatal. The old me played games like that all the time. Yeah, it's almost like Russian roulette, even so you believe that eventually notice and stretch those games out to the limit. It may be impudent of me to ask, but just what is that you notice Battler's son at the very end of your games with the old me? It was a strange question, even though in the past Beto had always been the one posing it to Battler. Now that Battler had figured it out, Beto was the one asking it to him. Our roles have been completely flipped, haven't they? In the past, only you remembered and only I forgot, but this time it's the other way around. Only I remember and only you have forgotten. Would you mind telling me what it is? Telling you would be easy, but I don't want to tell you. I'm not trying to be mean, but I just want to believe in a miracle for a bit myself. A miracle? Yes, this was a single miraculous seed that Battler had left behind. If Beato could remember a certain something without being told, that would prove that Beato had truly revived, so he wouldn't tell her it was Battler's final seed, which existed because he still couldn't abandon his hopes for Beato's revival. If you can't tell me, then I won't ask. If I have displeased you, please forgive me. Don't worry about it. I just never know when to give up. As she watched that sad smile, Beeto's chest tightened. He was looking at her and seeing the old her. Yes, I must become my former self for his sake. My older sister who got burned by spiderwebs and I who don't must become one. Surely it's more useful to him if I go on a journey to find myself now than if I simply watch over his game. How do you feel about this game? Do you think you can win? I intend to win. I'll win in this eternal torture just like Beto wanted. When it ends, what will happen to the world? Who knows? I wonder. However, that's what we wish for, so no matter what the result is, I'll accept it. What will happen to me? Beto was uncertain, even she was probably no more than a piece in this game. If the game ended, then would she, one who had been born in this game's rules, disappear? The game will probably disappear, but now I completely understand magic, so I'll be able to carry you off the game board. I think that was your wish. My wish? The rest is a secret. I'll be waiting for a miracle for you to remember all that on your own. After smiling bitterly for just a second, Butler left. I told her not to worry. Apparently it was best if she avoided talking to Butler about her previous self. Well then, I'll go check on my opponent for a bit. I can't wait to see what kind of twisted logic that idiot thinks up next. That old Battler sounded a lot of that too. My favorite was the one from the first Twilight of the second game, when you said the culprit killed everyone by feeding them small bombs. Ah, the highlight of my dark past. Please forget that ever happened as fast as you can. Yes, I will try. Battler became a cloud of gold butterflies and disappeared into the darkness. Beato kept bowing until she disappeared completely. To fill in its place, a single gold butterfly appeared and became Beato the Elder. Did you call for me, little sister? Yes, I want to know more about you, and I want to know about the real me is like. I want to become like that. Of course, I also want to know about my future self. Then we reveal everything about ourselves to each other for that purpose. However, we did not become one. I cannot understand what we must do to become our single self. What can we do to become one? I have high hopes for the trials. Is that part for her? You mean the miracle of magic given to the victors? I wonder if that magic miracle, means becoming one. I will find my true form. You will fulfill Battler's wishes. Battler will be overjoyed too, so all three of us will have what we want. This is a trial, right? It means we cannot lose to the other two pairs. George-san and Shannon-san, Jessica and Kenan-san. I can only grasp happiness by trampling over them. The conditions apply to all of us. If only one of the others succeed in love, the other two groups, including you, will be trampled over. Why must the scales be so tilted, I wonder? Tilted? Some people will find love, others won't. In that case, you can put those two groups on a scale. However, the scales for Archer all have 3 plays. A 2 must lose for a 1 to win. That seems horribly skewed. Who knows? That might mean that successful love is worth 2 destroyed loves. You're too insecure, little sister. If you can't put your desire to answer the battler's expectations before your uncertainty over what happens to the losers, you won't be able to win anything. You're right. I won't give up our victory. I don't like doing this to the others, but there will be no hard feelings between us and them. If I do lose, I'll give my strongest blessings to whichever of the lovers wins, so I'll fight with all my heart and soul, so that I have no lingering regrets, and I'll win to that miracle of magic. How was it? How did the red and blue shoot out over the first twilight go? We started by testing the waters. Battler seemed pretty eager too. She had just come back with my fierce fight with Battler, where she had gathered information by making demands with the red text. It was the old familiar kind of fight reminiscent of when the red text had first disappeared, or when use of blue text was first permitted. And the result? First, in all cases, it was the victims themselves that constructed the closed rooms. Also, those closed rooms were perfectly preserved until Cross's group broke them open. Also, I confirmed that during this period, all sorts of interference from outside were impossible. Erica put as proudly as though she had been in a great battle, but Burgess looked bored as she listened. After looking at her blankly for a second, Lem the Delta spoke her opinions frankly. Wait a second, doesn't that mean this closed room order was perfect? The victims have sealed the closed rooms themselves, and the closed rooms have been preserved until Cross and the others had broken them open, and no one had been inside the closed rooms except for the victims. At Cross's group, the ones who had broken the rooms open were not the culprits. In this way, she had managed to win several little rare truths like these. Normally, simply collecting such vital information would have been enough. However, the master was tired of boredom. How I had expected a much more flashy argument-winning victory instead of this bland result. How this time I don't have the detective's authority, so there's a chance I messed up when examining the corpses. So if we suppose that a drug that mimics death was used to fool my examination, you mean puro pico puro? No, not that. It's not impossible for the uncertain well-known drugs such as insulin to bring about a temporary state that mimics death. Battler did not count on that with the red truth. In other words, my blue truth worked. I think we've started with the victory. To sum up Erica's report, all she had done was listen to the red truth Battler had wanted her to hear. Only the information Battler had wanted out there had been shown, and she hadn't been able to strike at any weak points. She was like a kid who had gone out shopping and forgotten her job and only bought candy. However, this was all the players on the human side could do. Without the detective proclamation, she could only fight by collecting dull bits of information like that. However, her master had been expecting more than that sort of dull fight. So she had tried to give her report energetically to make it seem as though they were in a superior position, but no matter how much she tried, the cold expression of her master remained merciless. Your blue truth worked. If he didn't cut it down, he probably just because it's too stupid. You call yourself a great detective with reasoning like that? I did try to examine the corpses with care to the best of my abilities. However, I don't have the detective's authority, so we can't be certain. Wait a second, weren't you the one who decided not to make the detective proclamation? Didn't you say you wanted to raise the stakes to make up for your disgrace last time? Well. What's wrong? Are you saying that you can't win against Battler without the detective's authority? That's not true, my master. I could easily defeat an incompetent like that even without the detective's authority. It's just this style of fighting is a little different from what I'm used to, and I haven't gotten the hang of it yet. As far as 2 minutes go, Erica was quite talented. Her knowledge and powers of memory and insight were ahead of the pack, and it was likely that no human was more well-suited as a detective than her. However, no matter how much of an advantage she might have had over the other people, that didn't matter in which games. In the witch's game, it's either 0 or 100. In other words, everything is either the red truth or it isn't. If a normal human was worth a 10, her exceptional power probably rated 99. However, it could never be 100. Since it wasn't 100, it couldn't be absolutely certain. So it didn't count as red truth. For example, the examination of the corpses that Erica had worried over in the fight just now, if she had performed it with the detective's authority, she could have said with 100% certainty whether they were alive or dead. However, without the detective's proclamation, it was 99%. There was a 1% chance that she made a mistake and then overturned the foundation of examination. Erica had gained the detective's authority and had become the witch of truth because Burgess still has supplemented her talent 99 with an additional 1. Simply because Burton still wouldn't give her that 1. In the world of witches, Erica's 99 was treated exactly as the same as 0. She couldn't even use her great assistant Delanor without a power of 100. When working under an Erica who had lost the detective's authority, Delanor's red longsword lost its power. Delanor was also irritated that she couldn't provide full assistance. She had tried several times to convince Erica to use the detective's proclamation, but Erica had stubbornly refused each time. Why not just do it and make the detective proclamation? If you do it, you'll be unstoppable. Delanor could even use her red longsword in the Nox Decalogue. Why not do it if you want? No. There was no need for anyone to explain. By now it was clear that Erica headed it and abandoned the detective proclamation by her own will. When Butler reached the truth during the previous round, this game was already finished. This isn't really the 6th game, it's just a finale so that Butler can have a chance to serve as a game master at the end. The result was already decided last game. Yeah, pretty much. This game won't continue forever, and I've lost my bet with Byrne. In this game, Butler will prove that he's reached the game's truth, and then Beatles' game will be destroyed in a big victory for the human side, and a big victory for Byrne too. Well, supposedly, but you look unsatisfied for some reason. Yeah, I'm not satisfied. I didn't want such a boring victory. The victory you did want had Beatles' game board being torn to bits and Beatles' truth pathetic form exposed, humiliated and trampled on. But this victory at Butler's isn't quite like that, is it? All that's about love and promises. He wants to end the game quietly and let her sleep in peace. That sort of ending would make anyone vomit. I didn't get Butler all that advice so he could end things like that. I had his little sister turn into scrap meat behind his back. I had his parents and family killed horribly over and over again. That was all the spark of desire for revenge against Beato. And now, what kind of ending is this? Have I won? Of course not. Butler's gotten his hands on a victory that neither you nor I can stand. I had to withstand a staggering period of boredom just to come all the way out to this backwoods territory, just so that I could see Beatrice lamely and pathetically torn to little bits. I didn't come here to sip on my rotten yogurt fragment like this. Oh, your angry face is wonderful too, Burned. I see, so this is why you wanted to straighten things out for yourself at least once at the end. It's all the fault of this moron piece screwing up all the time in the last game. Because of you, this game board that looked like it'd be fun for the first time in thousands of years has all been wasted. Filth, trash, scum. My apologies, my master. I will definitely bring you a victory, so please forgive me. If you couldn't win with the detective's authority in the last game, how do you expect to defeat Butler now that he's the game master? You don't have a chance at winning even with the detective's authority, so why bother with it? True, if you can't win anyway, then the detective proclamation isn't necessary. The lack will just make your loss all the more certain. And therefore, if you manage to win in this even worse situation, that would be a miracle worthy of me. And if only you can do that, I'll be able to forgive you. Yes, I will surely show you that miracle. Like hell you can, scum. All you can do is thoroughly expose your wretched self in a horrible punishment game with your only weapon taken away from you. And through it all, you just still roll over playfully and beg to keep me entertained. Scum. Ooh, sounds like you're having fun. I'm getting in the way. Gold butterflies gathered in the darkness and took the shape of Battler. Though he had just arrived, he seemed to know that the mood was dark. Battler, I had looked at your first twilight. Quite impressive closed rooms. I'm sure you're even more talented than Beato. It's just a rehash of the closed rooms Beato made in the past. I'll take that as a compliment aimed at her. It seems your fight with Erica wasn't bad either. I think your serial murders will move along smoothly. Who knows? Our role isn't to carry out serial murders. It's to use that process to show you closed rooms that are impossible without magic, and thereby achieve victory for the witch side and prove that I fully understood this game. No, there's more than one thing. What? There's settled things with Erica after that evenly matched duel we acted out last time. Butler. Evenly matched? Burkeston noticeably grimaced. Erica avoided her eyes and hung her head timidly. I know what you'd like to say. That wasn't a draw. We should have won easily, so it counts as a loss. Hey, it's not polite to eavesdrop. Look at that mirror. It's written all over your faces. No way. Where? Hey, what's going on? If you tell me it's written in ink only morons can see, then death. Death. Super death for you. Lambda Delta pulled out a mirror out of thin air that looked at it and jumped around angrily. She was apparently pretending to be stupid in her own special way. Erica. What is it? That final fierce attack you and Delana made in last game was spectacular. Thanks. What happened to Delano this time? Are you by yourself? No. I have been waiting here. Delano had been just standing around in reserve, hiding her presence in the dark shadows. Well, when she can't use her red longsword, Delano is just useless scum. There's no point in having her around, so she's hanging back. All I can do now is record Lady Erica's reasoning. Why won't you fight with her? Why can't you use that red longsword? Erica's reasoning and your longsword. Those were strong because they worked together. Delano didn't answer. She just glanced at Burkestell's expression for an instant. However, that glance was the same as a clear answer to Butler now. Butler fully recognized the situation. You're the one who told Erica not to use the detective's proclamation. Oh, I didn't know you. I don't know what you're talking about. This fight is between me and Erica. We're gonna fight with all we've got. That way we'll be able to accept it whether we win or lose. There's no need for a mastermind behind the scenes like you. Come now, I'm no mastermind. I'm just a theater goer trying to relieve her boredom. A theater goer is someone who sits quietly in the stands and watches. That's not what we call someone who jeers at the stage and threatens or manipulates the performers. Sorry for being an ill-mannered audience. You might not know it, but I've already paid a huge admission fee to watch this play. Sorry, but I intend to enjoy it until I get my money's worth. If you get in the way of the game's progression, I can use my authority as a game master to boot you out of this game. If you want to, go ahead. If you chase me out, then I'll head back with my piece, Erica. This game will be cancelled and you won't be able to prove that you've reached the truth. A theater goer is an observer. A truth with no observers is the same as an illusion. You need a theater goer as a witness to tell Beatles' game ends. Our truth only needs to be passed between the two of us. If you get in the way any further, I'll put you up by force. Then you can't ride around on boredom for a few centuries until you find another way to kill time. Then go ahead and do that. Erica, this game is over. Good work. You were completely useless. You weren't able to overturn the dishonor of your loss. So as promised, I'll take you to the worst fragment. I'll toss you to the depths of oblivion with the empty popcorn buckets. My master. I will win no matter what, so please let me fight Battler until the end. I don't want to lose and get thrown into the depth of oblivion. You know, I want to watch it till the end, right? But Battler says he'll toss me out. Hey, what do you do, Lambda? Well, I realize you've been irritated since the last game, Burn, but calm down a bit, and Battler don't provoke Burn so much. This kid can control her emotions sometimes. Shut up. Who can't control her emotions? Burkesson, who had never shown any expressions at all at one point in time, was now twisted her face into all kinds of displeased and ugly shapes. When the Delta made fun of that, Burkesson clicked her tongue and looked away. As they say, nothing can stop poison but poison. Apparently, Lambda Delta was the only one who could rein Burkesson in. Erica, you want to fight Battler, clear your name, and get Burn back in a good mood, right? Yeah. Battler, you want to quickly and neatly end this final game so that you can prove that you found the truth, right? Yeah, this is a face-off between me and Erica. I won't let anyone get in my way, but I won't let anyone get in Erica's way either. Battler. If both of them wish to fight, then I should be respectively burned to me. I'm the only one in the world who could calm that kid when she gets in a bad mood. You're the same sort of, sir, but at least you could be reasoned with. You shouldn't underestimate me. I just like seeing Burn grimace. That's why I've taken a liking to this game of yours. If you think I'm easy to handle, you're apt to get burned, okay? Delano can't use her red longsword because the detective proclamation has been made. If Erica makes it, she'll regain her power right away, right? Yes, when that happens, forgive me. Erica. What? Make the detective proclamation? No. Do you really think you can beat me as I am now without the detective's authority? I can win. Lord Battler, Lady Erica is herself appeased. She cannot disobey her master's orders. All she can do is gather the power she has to fight for survival. And Delano, your power can't be used at all without the detective's proclamation. I need permission before unsheathing the red key. One form of that permission is the detective proclamation. Are there any other ways of getting that permission? What are you saying? If you're doing this out of pity for me, that's none of your business. Quiet, you're so flimsy by yourself, that's boring. Be quiet, detective, who is any detective. Ugh. The red key is infinitely similar to the red truth, and if only I am given that truth, I am permitted to draw my sword for items that pertain to it. What do you mean by a truth? For example, the Lara Lady Erica's packing tape seals. Those. Lady Burkestar has already acknowledged that those seals are equivalent in value to red truth. Therefore, I am permitted to draw the red key at least for truths pertaining to those seals. Those caused me lots of trouble last time, so I had all the sticky packet tape removed from the game board this time around. Explain didn't move. Erica was proud to be able to call herself the detective, wasn't she? Yes, though her only goal was to irresponsibly solve riddles, it was a matter of pride for her. That she must really be suffering now that she kept like that proclamation. Only she could tell you that. Butler took a deep breath and hung his head and thought for a time. Erica was his enemy, but she was the player on the human side, and without her there would be no game. It had been the same with Obieto. Butler had one-sidedly viewed Beato as an enemy. However, though Beato had thought of him as her opponent, she hadn't considered him an enemy on a personal level. In accordance with the rules, I must fight my rival ruthlessly. However, that doesn't mean I need to hate Erica herself. I won't misunderstand Beato's game. Erica, you're free to choose whether to make a detective proclamation. In that case, go ahead and fight with just your power as a human. I've been prepared to do that from the start. However, you have talented abilities, Delana, Gertrude, and Cornelia. You aren't alone, you have allies. Yeah, but they're unreliable, powerless, and useless scum. Delana, just like how I was supported by Virgilia and Runoff in the past, Erica needs support as well. I know from repeated experience that playing for the human side is tough. Yes, I will assist her with all the power I possess. Understood. Know that it's our job. You can't even use the red truth. Erica, I will give power not to you but to your allies. Huh? What do you think you're doing? I'd rather die than receive your pity. 3 people, Dylan, are Gertrude and Cornelia. Erica, I'll let you use 3 rooms worth of those pocket tape seals. To fully seal one room, multiple seals would be needed to cover all the doors and windows. If he had said 3 seals, it would only have been possible to fully seal one room at best. So Battler was generous and limited them by room instead of seal. Lord Battler. As a game master, I also acknowledge that these seals have the same effect as red truth. This way you'll also be able to wield that red longsword in our fights running those. Right? Yes. But are you certain? Winning against Erica when she's less than a detective is hardly a victory. If Erica's upping the stakes, that should have the right to do the same. Ooh, what a man. Aren't you lucky, Erica? Now you could use a bit of air without making the detective proclamation and irritating your master. You'll regret this. I'll use these 3 seals to kill you no matter what. Perfect, come to kill me. God. Though it was only for 3 rooms of the red truth that Erica had desperately wanted. Now she finally had enough leeway to fight as she pleased. She ground her teeth as being pitied by Battler, but her tears were not those of shame. Understood. 3 rooms worth of packet tape seals accepted. Recording this letter should reconsider them as being accepted retroactively back when Lady Erica received the non-sticky packing tape from Mrs. Kumasawa. Erica had borrowed packet tape from Kumasawa to make seals with. However, Butler had made it so that those weren't sticky. If you ruled that there had never been any problem with the stickiness of packet tape, that transition could be made smoothly. Sure, that's fine. I'll rewrite the tale of the packet tape with Erica received from Kurosawa's son late at night on the first day. It was sticky, but there was only enough to let us use on 3 rooms. I'll apply that from here on out. Understood. Lady Erica also retroactively adjusted our movement starting before the discovery of the first twilight, and taking into account that the application of this privilege is now possible. As soon as those changes affect the progression of the game, they will be reported to the game master. Letting you do it retroactively, even though you know which rooms the crime will occur, and that gives you a pretty big advantage. You won't have to waste tape on the other rooms. It seems you've grown quite arrogant since becoming game master. Isn't it fun to give out charity to your pathetic opponents? Quiet and don't misunderstand. I'm not being arrogant or soft here. Erica, use this weapon and come at me with all you've got. Then I'll crush you with all I've got. So hold your head up high and use those 3. That is all. Butler made to leave the room with a flick of his cape. As he did, he thought he heard Erica let out a strained voice calling him to stop. What is it? If you have no business with me, I'm going. And make sure you talk with the Leonard. Don't listen to those obnoxious witches, whatever they tell you. As long as I'm on this game board, I won't let them do whatever they please. Thank you. Thank you. I'll fight with all I've got. I'll come at you with all my strength, so I'll defeat you no matter what. So if you do win against me, please crush me with all your strength. Please don't leave a scrap behind. Understood. And don't you go easy on me. This is the final game. I'm playing to prove to Beto that I reached the truth. But I know who wins and who loses as I affect that goal. So I just want to accept you as a rival and settle this. In the game, let's respect each other over everything as enemies. But as fellow players, let's trust each other. That's how this game is supposed to be played. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Battler melted into the darkness, became a cloud of gold butterflies, and vanished. Erica remains behind, sobbing. Just kidding. Oh shit. Jeez, you're a dim, stupid man. You totally fell for it and gave me the tape. I, Fruito Erica, had packing tape. It was hard to imagine that the person had been sobbing pathetically and this person now were the same. That's how vile her face contorted to be. The two witches were also cackling with ugly smiles. I totally understand when you become Game Master, it feels like you become God and you get all your share of yourself. It was the same for you, Lambda. Of course you lose after leaving a stupid mistake like walking corpses alone. Stupid Game Master, stupid mistakes, stupid pride, stupid losses, stupid battler, stupid everything. Hehehe. Stupid losses, stupid battler, stupid everything. Hahaha, was just a nice ring to it. And that's why my master. Hehehe. Stupid battler, stupid everything, stupid battler, stupid everything. If stupid battler really thinks that Erica's at a disadvantage, and I really pity him, a detective proclamation is that what you need to kill a moron. Death by falling on a piece of tofu? I'd have to be soft tofu too. Add some gochujang and chili paste, and you've got a snack that's go great with some wine. Hehehe. The three giggled together. I had all been an act to get the packet tape for the seals from Battler. Even though the packet tape that had tormented him so much in the last game was unusable in this one, he had fallen for Erica's act, and she had gotten what she wanted, those just 3 rooms worth. The illusion that Erica had an overwhelming disadvantage was just an act. I trapped to trick Battler and make him hand over the packing tape. With this, I could kill Battler perfectly. I figured out those pathetic clothes rooms long ago. A perfect clothes room, dumbass. I'll show you a real perfect clothes room. And I could almost cry for the joy effect they gave me a weapon that'll finish you. My master, Lady Lambda Delta, thank you so much for going along with this act. It was fun, no need to thank me. Plus, it was an act. Burka still said something that was probably disturbing, but in her good mood, Erica didn't care a bit. That pudding for brains more and thinks he's done so noble. I'll make you regret it. Alright, let's use these seals as our leisure. You did great too, Delanar. It seems that Battler trusts you, so I believed every word you said. Don't tell me your conscience hurts hurting, you little murder doll. No, Delanar looked at Erica in a slightly lonely way. Then after shaking her head slightly, her gaze turned hard, and she looked at the darkness Battler had disappeared into. He should have known that this was a no-holds-barred fight. How foolish, Lord Battler. This is without a doubt the result of your pride. Mr. Battler, this will be fatal. So far, so good for her. Yeah, all of our loves clearly possess a strong will. This is a victory for love that we shall extol. Everyone had gotten used to these 2 overdramatic demons. George spoke quietly with an annoyed expression. We'll only extol that after we passed your trial and someone had been given the miracle of magic. I agree, we've all passed the first trial. What's next? I won't hold back anymore. I'll do whatever it takes. Yes, we won't lose. We won't lose either. Yeah. And of course the same goes for Battler Khan's group. Of course. I doubt anyone here is so naive that they hope to win by having the others forfeit. Right. Anyone who's weak enough to drop out would have no right to be here right now. Even Beto, who seemed to be the shakiest one of the 6, was strongly determined. The 2 demons nodded at each other, thinking of the 6 continued resolve. So what's the next trial? Don't tell me you still haven't decided. Well, we thought at least some of you would drop out. We didn't think you'd all remain. What happy, miraculous miscalculation due to love? Shut up. So, we're going to play musical chairs or something to make sure someone drops out? Yes, precisely that. We decided to have this trial eliminate one group no matter what. This trial is the second twilight of the epitaph. Tear apart the 2 who are close. I don't get it. Separ someone for sure, someone so childless is, do you mean we're going to kill each other? That'll solve things quickly, though it's not exactly civilized. Love is for carnivores. I guess we can all just find happiness together, can we? This is what they call a zero-sum game. It's an economic word, but maybe you've heard of it? No, my apologies. A zero-sum game is where victory and losses all cancel out to end up with zero. In order for someone to win, someone else must be forced to lose. It's a ruthless way of this world. If only everyone could be happy, but there's no way in an ideal world like that could exist. No, there is. That is the Golden Land. The Golden Land? What are you talking about? That's right. If you reach the Golden Land, all love will be satisfied. However, like heaven and hell, that's not a place in this world. I wouldn't want that. Love has meaning because we find it in this world. I could never support a sad lover's double suicide where they're only reunited after death. I'll stick to my love and life. I won't lose to anyone. George Son. The door to the Golden Land can be opened by solving the epitaph's riddle. In that place, love and lives are all whole and can be provided, but we're straying from the point. Alright, I need to take this drink of water. Okay, let's hear about the second trial now. Right, what are you trying to make us do with this teleporter 2 who are close thing? It's quite simple. The only possible way to teleport 2 lovers is by the sad farewell of death. The second trial involves killing one of those 6. Of course, any lover who with their partner killed is disqualified. In short, one group of lovers must fail during this trial. You say kill so easily, what exactly are we supposed to do? You could just fight to the death, or you can decide by lottery of some sort. Like hell, we choose by drawing lots. Let's have a fair and square duel. So if we do that, I imagine that Battler and the Game Master, Beatrice, who is the Golden Witch, even though her memory is gone, will have a substantial advantage. Oh, I wonder about that. Don't worry, for this trial we have made everyone's powers equal. Even the Game Master, Lord Battler, is taking this trial on even footing with everyone else. In that case, it's fair. Is it completely and purely on an even footing? Yes, it's perfectly even, and one matchup victory will be decided by luck. It's perfectly even, so I'll probably take some time before it's settled. So it's a trick to tech when you're in a superior position, I wonder. Duels that take time are, of course, wonderful. Why would anyone leave it up to luck? Of course we want to fight in a situation to our advantage. In that case, it's a three-way struggle. Won't that mean we're stuck? Beato was the first to notice. If the 6 were truly on an even footing, both willing and capable of winning in one pair would have to concentrate on their attacks on a single person. If that happened, then the pair containing their target would, of course, band together and resist. In other words, it would never be 2 against 1. It would become 2 against 2 in a matter of luck. However, at this time, any third pair who had happened to be watching this could team up with whichever pair they liked with no risk themselves, defeating the opposing pair with certainty. Sounds troublesome. It means that moving first is disadvantageous. If you step forward and fight, it's a matter of luck. If you stay and wait for the other two to start fighting, it's a certain victory. A fight would never begin in this situation. Maybe we could just have everyone fight the person next to them one-on-one. And then as soon as you one-on-one fight settle, the trial will be over. Unless everyone could have been in any night of hopes for a 2-on-2 or 2-on-1 fight, this trial would never begin and never end. In that case, if they made a gentleman's agreement and had anyone duel at once, it would be no different from drawing lots, and it would be at least be even. That won't work. If we don't do that, everyone will just defend instead of fighting proactively. All they need to do is wait for someone to lose before they do. Shannon's point was a sound one. If both fighters just glared at each other without attacking, then neither would lose. All they had to do was wait for someone other than themselves to lose first. This brought them back to the starting point. No one would fight proactively. In the end, no one will move and nothing will be resolved. Sister is this arithmetical situation where we all have the same strength. It's almost like a puzzle. True, it would happen in an interesting duel if all our strengths were unknown. However, since we've been told that we're perfectly even, this duel is so different than rock, paper, scissors. In that case, why don't you use rock, paper, scissors to decide it? Are you crazy? I'm not going to do that. Even if someone does lose, there's no way to accept their loss. If they don't accept it, they will be attacked by the foreign winners. In a world where all are equal, the losers will have no chance of surviving. True, well, now, is rock, paper, scissors actually the most reasonable way to settle this? Well, it's extremely reasonable. However, if you ask me would I be reckless enough to just my fate to a random number generator, the answer is no. Please do consider that problem. This is the second trial we have for you. Think and fight to the death. Please decide whom the sacrifice will be. Come on. Alright guys, I'm gonna take a few minute break here. Okay guys, okay. True, it's unthinkable. The sermons are the most suspicious. It isn't even as though if we have any physical evidence, we could tie them up and throw them in a closet. So we need to make sure they're always within the sight of those with guns, and we keep an eye on them at all time. And we should gather the master keys. Only the servants could have created those closed rooms. They must have done something with the chain locks using some tool or arrangement that only the servants know about. They have served us for a long time. I can hardly imagine that they would have committed murder. Kinzo-san's life is nearly over, and now I hear that the inheritance problem is still very shaky. Add on that about the story about 10 tons of gold being hidden somewhere. A possible payoff like that might be enough to convince certain people to commit a crime. I don't want to think about it, but there's also a chance that old bastard is running some bizarre occult ceremony. The servants are the one wing of his pawns, and they might be the ones to carry out the murders. How about that anyway? Have we been able to contact them yet? No, the existing line isn't working either. The culprits may have broken it, and Father does sometimes leave the receiver off the hook when he's in a bad mood. When I knocked on, I only received a grumpy reply. We can't contact him, but that study is well protected. It's only probably safer there, so it might be best for him to stay there. Flustered across tried to explain why Kenzo's silence. Battler, the game master, hadn't made Kenzo's death a major theme for this game, so the conversation didn't progress any further at this point. They stopped talking about Kenzo without Rudolph thinking anything was particularly suspicious. Anyway, we can't let the servants go unsupervised. I've already talked with Hideyoshi-san about this. We haven't decided to split everyone into rooms on the second floor and hold up in there. Why 2 rooms? We wouldn't want to be more secure. Well, if we try to stick 12 people in one room, they suffocate. It would also be best to isolate the people we need to keep the closest eye on. There's Genji-san, the head of the servants, Goda-san, and the largest one there. And though he's just a kid, Ken-san is a boy. I think we need to pay those 3 special attention, Aniki. The way we can isolate the group, and I could think a close eye on him. With 2 guns, the pair of us could cooperate on a moment's notice. If they make even a single suspicious move, boom! I understand, let's do that. But Rudolph, we cannot be certain that they are the culprits. Don't be too pushy. You're telling me not to be pushy? We must be getting old. Right now, Hideyoshi-san is upstairs, dividing everyone into 2 rooms. We'll gather the ones being isolated in the cousin room, and the others will go into the next room over. Alright, Aniki, what about Jessica Chen? She insists on being in the same room as you. Jessica, we're planning to have 5 people in the cousin room and 7 in the next room over. If Jessica-san wants to go to the cousin room, I'll split clean down the middle. If this was a wolves-sheep puzzle, there are now 3 servant wolves and you 2 sheep in that room. If you add in Jessica-san, it'll be balanced out. For a while, Cross crossed his arms with thought, because the room would surely be more dangerous, so he wanted his daughter to go in the next room over. However, in an emergency like this, he wanted to have his daughter where he could see her. Let's let her stay with us. We might need her there to make sure we remain good dads and uncles. Yes, at the moment, even I am only trying to act in a rational manner, but I can't guarantee that my sadness at losing my wife won't change to anger. Even without any physical evidence, the servants are certainly the most suspicious. During the long wait, the 2 men's weariness and anger and sadness might make them lose their reason and act out in anger. After thinking deeply, Cross decided to accept Jessica's request, in part to prevent such a thing from happening. I think that's a good idea. I approve as well. I agree. It's enough that only Rosa and I lose children. Rudolph. In this way, all of the survivors except Kenzo split into groups had holed up in 2 rooms on the guest house second floor. One group was in the cousin room, Cross Rudolph, Jessica, Genji, Ken, and Goda, 6 people. One group was in the next room over. Hideyoshi, George, Shannon, Kumasawa, Nacho, and Erica, 6 people here too. Perhaps as a result of the killers doing, the external phone line had been cut off, and they would have to wait for the ferry boat to come next day before they could contact the police. However, the weather report said this type of typhoon wouldn't make the ocean rough the next day. When such a thing happens, the ferry boat takes the day off, so it'll probably be 2 days before the boat came. In other words, they would need to spend a full 2 nights holed up in here. While Erica and the others held out their plenty of meetings in the lounge, food and blankets had been brought in to prepare for the siege. This sudden tragedy had everyone on edge, but it was well after 2 o'clock in the morning. If they really suspected the servants and the observers couldn't afford to fall asleep at the same time, either Cross or Rudolph should probably take a nap right away. Not bad, even without the detective's authority, you managed to take control pretty cleverly. A man who's lost his cool is so different from an emotional dog. If you treat them properly, it is easy to control them. One of the benefits of the detective's authority was being able to take charge of the situation. Because of this, Erica, who was both a guest and a young girl, had been able to order a large number of adults around at will. However, she didn't have the power at this time, so Erica had to take charge by making good use of her natural conversation skills and techniques for controlling men. The detective's authority is the same as magic. You can't do anything that's impossible for you, so I guess Erica was only acknowledged as such because she had already had that much power. Magic is something that's given to lazy or powerless humans. Right, on the contrary, people who can't hide their great efforts are the ones we call witches. The absolute nature of the detective's authority can affect even magic. However, that convenient power probably hadn't been given to Erica easily. I probably have to acknowledge it. Even if she hasn't given a special power by the way she serves, she's capable of quite a lot on her own. But Erica, why did you split them into 2 rooms? I figured you'd try to gather everyone into 1 room. I would have if I had the detective's authority. This is a move to preserve my right to investigate at will. Is that it? I see, not bad. Since Erica was being protected as a guest, it was hard for her to move about freely, and in truth, she wanted to take some time to investigate the victims of the crime scenes at her leisure, without being interrupted by anyone. She had already inspected the scenes once in a huge rush as she ran through the mansion, but it probably hadn't been perfect. However, they wouldn't have let a guest into the crime scene, so that she had no other choice but back then. She wanted some time to herself and freedom to investigate more, in part so that she could check the closed rooms and causes of death more precisely. How is that related to splitting everyone into 2 rooms? Because she'll be able to check them with it. Watch. Yes, it's the only reason I'm splitting into 2 rooms. The cozy room was filled with quiet attention. I need a sip of water. This room has 6 people. Kroshka and Rudolph. And then the most suspicious ones, the male servants, Genji, Kennen, and Goto, who had been forced up in the She was leaning against Cross's shoulder, wrapped up in a blanket. She was drowsy, but apparently couldn't get to sleep. It was no surprise. In the bizarre situation, it would probably take some time before she could accept her mother's death. Kennen thought that it was sort of time he should stay by Jessica's side, but that looked like it would be hard to do in front of Rudolph's intimidating glare. Rudolph stayed completely silent, but his inner emotions showed clearly in his eyes, so Genji, Kennen, and Goto didn't have to ask to realize that they were suspected. Sometimes Goto asked to help in an attempt to get on their good side and correct this misunderstanding, but it seemed to have been the opposite effect. The best option available to him was to stay quiet so that he didn't aggravate Rudolph and sit still at the end of the sofa. In the next room over, there was also 6 people: Erica, Hideyoshi, George, Shannon, Nanjo, and Kumasawa. The format of the room and constricted atmosphere were the same as the cousin room, but even so, it was relatively calm there. George sat holding Shannon, who was darkly hanging her head the whole time. Kumasawa and Nanjo sat nervously as they listened to the Hideyoshi explain the situation. We don't know how many inmates there are, however we have guns with us. And of course, the shotguns before. I'm not talking about the Hawaii shooting center here. It's been long enough that I can confess, but I once definitely fired off one of them occupied forces pistols. You see, back then, the black market was controlled by foreign gangsters. He probably wanted to make anyone feel secure by convincing that he could be relied upon. He just went through one of those stories that everyone had heard many times and which they had gotten more shoving it each time they heard it. It didn't make them any more confident in Hideyoshi's abilities, but it did seem to calm things down a little by bringing in a sense of normality. Why has such a crime like this had happened? I hope the boat comes tomorrow. That seems unlikely. It looks as though we'll be staying here for 2 nights. No, it's a good time to get some sleep. Haha, my nerves aren't dull enough to let me sleep soundly in a situation like this. George, the pain and anger of losing his brother quietly tormented George. Sleeping probably wouldn't be coming to him for a while. Erica suddenly clapped her hands as though she had just remembered something and whispered in Hideyoshi's ear in her the old story, which he had grown quite engrossed with. Sorry, I'm going into the cousin room for a second. There's one little thing I just need to check on with the servants over there. Can't you use the phone? You just need to dial the room number. Oh, have you forgotten? It seems the culprit has broken the phones. Wait, you don't mean you found some kind of contradiction in their testimonies? Up until this point, Erica has spent a lot of time giving the impression that she behaved like a detective. He or she immediately assumed that this was something vital to do with the crime. It'll be easy to check, but it might be a huge lead. I'll be back before long. Please don't let anyone leave this room. Even though it's next room, however, it's too dangerous to go alone. You sure you don't want to take something with you? We can't trust the servants or Nigel-san completely. You're in charge of this room. George-san is needed to support you. There's no one left. Don't worry, the detective never gets attacked. Erica had already worked hard to look like a sharp, clear-headed person. Hideyoshi relaxed and agreed, thinking it was just next door and it wouldn't be a problem. After an hour, no, they better not wander around too much. I'll stay over there until morning. It'll be better if I wait until it gets light before I come back. Good thinking. You be careful now. It's just a little trip to the next room over. Take a good look, take good care of this room. Please don't let anyone go outside. We've already brought one up. Everything we need up here, so there's no reason for anyone to leave. Food, drinks, blankets, medicine, towels, tissue paper, everything. The women also have their cosmetic pouches. They could last 40 hours without lucky for anything. I know, we aren't just here to protect ourselves. We're also on the lookout for the culprit if he's among us. I understand. Good. Goodbye then. Where are you going, Erica-chan? We promised that no one would go outside. Oh, Erica-chan remembered something important she had to do. She's going to the next room over. Don't worry, she'll be fine. Hideyoshi suspected that Shannon might be one of the culprits. Since he also knew that Shannon and George had a special relationship, he apparently thought it would be prudent to mislead George about Erica's actions and motives. Hideyoshi slowly opened the door and checked both ways down the corridor, his gun raised. It's okay, no one's there. That's far enough. For all we know, Shannon-san might take George-san hostage as soon as you leave the room, right? It's careless even just showing your back to them as you're doing now. You're right. Then be careful. Tell me all about it later. Sure. Bye then. Erica closed the door and pushed Hideyoshi back inside. She would then waited for the sound of the lock on her side, and smiling always open wide, her expression had become ruthless and intelligent. And that's why Erica was able to gain several hours during which all the suspects were sealed up, and she alone was free. Finally, I can investigate to my heart's content, but first, Ushiramiya Battler. Don't use my full name. Allow me to confirm the location of all the characters present. Repeat it. Of course, I'm going to respond, remember? If you don't, I'll just say that someone sneaked out while I wasn't looking, that this person was responsible for the bizarre crimes that are sure to follow. If you want to show me an impossible murder, you should first confirm their locations. Sure, why not? All this would at least let me hear it. From now on, instead of repeating the barricade in the room next to the cousin room, let's just say the next room over. Does that work for you? So simple enough, got it. And when I check anyone's locations as I am about to do, I am not concerned with whether they're alive or dead. Think of it as the location of their body, and of course I'm referring to the culprit in point in time. Here we go. The 6 first Twilight victims are located at the places where they were discovered. Nasui is in a room, Eva is in the VIP room, Kairi is across the study, Rosa and Mariah are in the parlor, and you are in the guest room. Don't tell me you're already going to refuse. Don't worry, I acknowledge it. First off, we acknowledge that the victim's locations were the same as the rooms that had been shown by the Witch's Side illusion. Good, I'll continue. Hideyoshi, George, Shannon, Kumasawa, and Nacho are in the next room over. Acknowledged. Without the humans in the room, Erica had just left the been specified. Carefully checking even obvious things like that was the most basic part of playing on the human side. Good, I'll continue. Everyone else is in the cousin room. The word everyone drew a slight reaction from Battler, an intuition he built up from all the previous games told him not to answer this one instantly. I refuse. Acknowledging that would mean that Kenzo's corpse would also be in cousin room. Pardon me. It has already been shown that Kenzo no longer exists, so please remove him from the word everyone. Why are you using the word everyone for the cousin room alone? Why are you so vague? When you could just mention the names across and the other 5 individually. It'd just be too much of a pain to read all their names, or is there something wrong? Does using the word everyone create a problem with some trick of yours? If Butler had been told to repeat cross who just and Chigoda and Kenny on the same cousin room, he would probably have acknowledged it with a red without thinking too much about it. Of course, normally Erica had mentioned the names of anyone inside and had him repeat it precisely. Battler paused, looked at him unease because of that unexpected demand in the word everyone. Okay, guys, I need to get another drink of water. Woohoo. Nice and cold. Okay, excluding Kento and me, there are 17 people on this island. 6 were killed and lying in the mansion, and 5 are in the next room over, and there are many 6 are in the cousin room. That's a reasonable assumption to make, right? However, there are 70 people on this island, so we subtract 6, then 5, then 6 again. We're left with 0 humans whose locations that have been checked, but that sort of assumption would be extremely dangerous. I'm pretty sure there's sort of a trick involving names and numbers of people caused you a lot of trouble, not just more than the 3rd game. Good point. That trick worked because the 18 names given didn't match up with the 18 who actually existed, leaving rooms that added an unknown person. Exactly. And so I can't feel insecure just by checking the locations by name. That's why I used the word everyone. That word can prevent you from using a new trick that I haven't thought of. Let's see. Pretty crafty of you. If Butler is playing a new trick where the names and number of people would be used to create false alibis, like the murder of Najo in the 3rd game, even naming off all the 70 people checking their positions left a trace of uncertainty behind, and if he cleverly managed to slip somebody past the names and numbers of people. For example, let's say that an unknown assassin exists hiding on the island. Let's call him Puru Pico Man. I see, even if he listed one's name to check the locations, this Puru Pico Man guy would fall outside the net. Precisely. Even hearing there are only 50 people on the island, and there are 50 locations, here the locations of 50 people is insufficient. There's already a precedent for this. However, the word everyone is just too broad. Can't you word it a little bit better? No, if we run away with the word everyone here, there's a chance that Erica will be able to use that as a basis for making Puru Pico Man the culprit for everything. In my old fights with you, I also announced several riddles with no basis other than the unknown 18th person X. The word everyone is insignificant. Make sure you think very carefully first. Erica wore a full but evil smile, confident that she had made a powerful move. Players on the witch's side must eradicate all possibilities that were possible for humans. If I don't crush any chances for this ridiculous thing Puru Pico Man right now, it'll be used to explain everything the witch does. I like to use in my own games with Bieto. Back at the very beginning of the night, my first counterattacks were all based on the unknown 19th person X. Because of that, Bieto restricted the number of people on the island, making it necessary to eliminate any unknown person hiding somewhere. In that case, this time it's the same. Just like Bieto did, I need to get rid of any leeway in which that X can exist. The number of people on the island had already been announced, but she had been suspecting tricks involving names and numbers of people. Saying the same thing again won't satisfy her. In the case, I have no choice but to respond to her demand and use the word to everyone. That word had a certain ring to it, and though I haven't figured it out yet, it feels like there's some kind of demonic killer move hidden within it. Damn, after insulting Bito so much and saying that the witch's side had a huge advantage, I'm getting this pressure just having to deal with a single line to repeat. Deflection, right? You mean the chess term? Yes, it's a technique of putting pressure on an enemy piece, forcing them to move and making them weaken their own position. I'm threatening you with a broad and powerful piece called everyone pushing you to move. With this, Battler side won't be able to perfectly guarantee alibis for all the survivors, and it'll probably make it possible for him to trap me in the later impossible crimes. What exactly are you afraid of? Shouldn't this be a powerful move for you? But it's a move that you're pressuring me to make. If you're trying to make me weaken my own position in some way, no matter how good a move seems, it's a bad move when it's your opponent your wants. However, it will be hard to avoid the word everyone here. The red truth can cut the weak reasoning of humans side apart over and over. In the past, I feared it ruthlessness. However, I also learned quickly that it could be used as a basis for a counterattack. Yes, the red truth is a trump card, a treasured sword. Now, I'm painfully aware Beto felt it could kill with ease, but it's not something to be used unnecessarily. Using it carelessly will end up coordinating the witch's side instead. What will you do? We can put this on hold if you want. No. Okay, I acknowledge it. I acknowledge that everyone else is in the cousin room. Good, thank you very much, butler son. Beautifully done. Oh, I'm in trouble. If a letter from Witch comes in this situation, just who could I suspect? She said that she was in trouble, but her face didn't look troubled at all. On the contrary, she looked as though she had just succeeded in placing a huge opening move. In a witch's game, even a single mistake can be fatal. In both chess and shogi, you can't get a piece back once you moved it. That last exchange had left a bad aftertaste as though flesh had been torn and bones broken. That should be enough of confirming positions. Shall we continue the game? Yes, we shall. Yes, we shall, Delaynor. Yes, Lady Erica, let's get started right away. Let's use the privilege of our merciful game master giving us. Yes, understood. Gertrude Cornelia used 2 rooms with the 3 sets of seals we were given. Let it be known that we understand. Seal the cousin room in the next room over. With this, everyone has been sealed except for the victims. No matter what happens after this, the humans with the seals won't be a problem. But the seals of the doors and windows, a complete sealing at both the cousin room and the next room over has been guaranteed. For just an instant, a red longspot had returned to Delanar's hand. She had been given permission to draw it, thanks to the red truth that she finally gained. When the fight concerned those 2 sealed rooms, from now on, Delanar will be able to use that merciless red blade, the red key. The overwhelming power could slice even the game master in half. For a while, Erica and Delanar just grinned at each other, entranced by the ruthless red light that was burning into their eyes. Senior Aide, allow me to ask a question. What is it? The players on the human side are to interpret questions proposed by the witches being work of humans. You are not mistaken. If that's so, why are Lady Erica and Commander Delanar fighting to lower the number of humans who can commit crimes? Cornelia's question was a very simple one. Those 2 had made this move, boldly making it sound like it was a powerful one, almost as though it was greatly damaged the witch. However, if you thought about it, Erica was just strangling her own neck. We still don't know what sort of crime will occur in the future. Would it not be more advantageous to the humans if there were more people whose locations are not specified? Know that now is not the time yet for the lady or commander to reveal their thoughts. I apologize for my idle chatter. Cornelia looked like she was dissatisfied. In the previous game, when trying to help Kenzo escape from the study, Butler had desperately tried to break free from that closed room using various methods. As a result, Kenzo had escaped in the darkness of the night, and it had later been possible to treat him like an elusive phantom. In other words, closed rooms were advantages to the witches and disadvantages to humans. Witches proposed closed rooms and humans destroyed and denied them. That should have been the standard tactic of this game. And yet Erica created closed rooms herself, sealing a full 11 humans in them. In other words, it was the same as abandoning the right to use those 11 people when explaining all those later tricks. In the past, Butler had confirmed the location of certain people, but had been checked whether certain pieces existed with which he could break closed rooms in a completely different situation. Why had Erica think of those 11 people who were also her pieces and seal them in a closed room? Cornelia had experienced enough fights to understand this move, which looked as though they were trapping themselves. A disturbing move. What on earth is Erica planning? It isn't necessarily an attack, and just as Shogi strengthening the guard around your king is an excellent strategy. In other words, the seals around those 2 rooms aren't an attack but a guard. That seems likely. Thanks to that, it's hard to lay a hand on the survivors. It'll be tough to carry out the second twilight. Ah, I see. Thus which side has an advantage when more riddles are presented. Yeah, after all, even if one riddle goes unsolved, the witch wins. Each new closed room we present increases our advantage. The riddles that the witch side sets up are equivalent to attacks. The human side must perfectly intercept all of those. It's almost like a penalty shootout, and we're letting a single point slip by means defeat. So the witch side wants to increase its number of attacks. The human side wants to lower the number of attacks. When Butler had fought on the human side, he hadn't thought of the survivors holding up in a room as being particularly useful. However, from the witch's side perspective, this strategy was simple but effective. What made Beetle incredible was how she bluffed and sneered at this tactic as though it was so completely useless. On the inside, she must have been so worried over how to break all these barricades in each game. Right now, I'm sure of that. I see, so strengthening your guard to make it hard for a crime to occur is one way for the human side to fight. However, that's a simple move. That great Detective Fruto Erica would have looked so confident after playing a move like that. Would Erica be happy that they're playing a defensive move? Though this move looks as though she's restraining herself, it's also extremely unlikely that Erica was playing defensively. I'm sure this is an attack, not a move made for defense, though I don't know what kind of attack it is. Next is our move, what shall we do? For the moment, she has at least to apparently spin her turn on straightening her guard to stop the second twilight, instead of reasoning about the first twilight. If they push, pull back. If they pull back, push. In that case, it's time for us to attack. But how should we attack? The guest house is well guarded. Yes, it appears as though the entire guest house is now under Erica's control. However, there are certain pieces like bishops and knights whose specialty is cutting behind enemy lines. Butler snapped his fingers and a single gold butterfly appeared from the darkness. It flew in front of the chessboard, trailing gold sparkles behind it. And landed without a sound, then transformed into a black piece representing the witch's darkness. X-ray, that's also a chess term. Yes, it's a high-level technique. It's one that Square seems to be under enemy's control, but you spotted that your own pieces actually have enough influence over it, so you attack. Erica, if you really believe that you can stop my next attack by slinging up all the survivors, that's just naive. Butler raised his new black piece high. His target was a single open space deep behind enemy lines. How will you handle it? This is my response. Ooh, that did not sound good at all. Ha! Now I can finally stretch my own wings. First off, let's take a midnight stroll to the mansion. You would take a stroll in the middle of the night to an eerie mansion where a killer might be hiding? You must be very insane. Not at all. I worked so hard to get this time to myself day and night. It feels like free time after a swimming lesson. Now that Burkestone was nowhere in sight, Erica was remaining her high spirits. She wasn't exaggerating when she said she was spreading her wings. Delanor knew that she was risking her own destruction in this gang, and she was not in a favorable position by any means. Delanor could not do nothing but assist Erica so that she could fight to the best of her abilities. Alright. The locks on the first floor of the guest house are perfect. The entrance is sealed up with a chain lock. Before leaving the guest house, Erica did a check of the first floor, making sure that nothing was out of place. And then she found a flashlight and an umbrella in the servant room next to the entrance. Then let's go. Yeah, we at least have to check the cause of death for all 6. She unset the chain, unlocked the door, and opened it. The freezing outside air poured in. It appears to be quite windy still. This body is just a cage of flesh to me. I don't care if it gets wet or cold. Let's go. When Erica dropped her gaze to open her umbrella, she noticed the line at her feet. It's one of the usual letters. It was one of those letters sent by the witch with the seal of the one-winged eagle on it. It had been wedged out of the outside of mat from the entrance, as though someone had predicted that Erica would eventually leave for the mansion by this way. It was in the shadows of the large eave, so they had avoided the rain entirely. So it's here already, almost as though it was waiting for me. She bent over and picked it up. She then tore it open recklessly and pulled a letter outside of it. A message had been written in neat letters. Welcome, Fruto, Erica. Someone says, oh, so it's calling me by name. They totally saw this coming. What does it say? It's an advance notice for a crime. No, I should say it's a report after the effect. Apparently, I take it should be a battler's corpse. It's basically saying, please try looking for it. So this isn't to tear apart the two who are close with the second twilight. Well, disappearing corpses have happened a few times in Beatles game too. There's nothing really new about this. Erica shrugged her, scoring the letter. However, this letter was a real attack. All the survivors were sealed in the rooms on the second floor, and at the very end, there's a shit gone around with the cross, and now there's to check the locks on the doors and windows. Erica personally confirmed that there is nothing left at the spot. So this was an attack saying someone who shouldn't be here would place the letter, and that someone was a witch. And that's also an attack that they'll would often use. Ha, sheesh, if the way you show it's the same, please tell me that the actual trick isn't the same too. Delanar, please call Battler here. Understood. Lord Battler, we wish to take our turn. Got it, let's have it. Sorry, I actually I don't have a move to declare. The truth is, there's something I needed to apologize for. Apologize? Battler and Beetle's eyes went wide. However, though Erica said that she wanted to apologize, she had a confident look on her face as though even that apology would be a new move. So Battler glared at her dubiously without letting his guard down. It's about those retroactive seals. I actually already sealed one place. I apologize for taking so long to report this to you. You already sealed something? In other words, you already used up all 3 rooms worth? Yes, I promised I'd report it on right away, but I completely forgot until just now. You have my sincere apologies. You don't look like someone who's sincerely apologizing. Well, that's fine. I'm the one who gave you that privilege, so... What did you seal? Delanar. Allow me to report. Battler's guest room was sealed at the time of Liddy's inspection of the corpses. Beato tried not to let it show on her face, but her eyebrows twitched visibly and her gaze looked over to Battler. Normally I would have liked to seal up all the clothes of his, but I didn't have enough packing tape. Out of respect for the Game Master, I sealed only the room with Battler's son's corpse. So you were kind enough to close the lid on my coffin. I remembered a short while ago and was planning to tell you when we reached the mansion and investigated the guest room with a corpse in it. However, when this letter appeared, I figured I should report it right away. Well, why did you think that? Well, after all, Battler's son has been playing this game ignorant of the fact that his corpse was sealed in the guest room. Because of that, I thought that it might be possibly change things regarding the appearance of this letter. The closet room and the next room over are currently sealed. Sorry for the late report, but the guest room with a corpse in it is also sealed, and there are 17 people on this island, excluding Lady Erica. The existence of an 18th person has already been denied in the previous game. In that case, we're thinking about the same person who could place this letter and the disappearance of your corpse. I thought maybe I thought this might change things around a bit. Erica laughed crudely while staring into Battler's eyes to see if he was panicked or disturbed. Battler's son. Stay calm. Erica has just made her report a bit late. There's no need to lose your cool. Erica had suspected this since the beginning. It was possible that Battler actually hadn't been killed and was still alive. And if he was alive, then the letter had suddenly appeared. It was easy to explain, even though all of the survivors were sealed up. Judging by Bito's faint agitation, maybe Erica's guess had been right on the mark. Battler played dead and somehow got around Erica's examination, and then while everyone was barricading themselves in the guest house, he snuck out of the guest room. After that, he placed a letter detailing the disappearance of his own corpse in the entrance to the lobby and hid himself. If that was the truth, the seals that had been placed on the Battler's guest room at the time of Erica's examination were now very significant. In other words, this was the trick they used, so then Battler would certainly have broken the seals when he left his guest room. The trick would not be workable without breaking the seals. Since the survivors were all sealed up inside the guest house, the inner seals of the guest room were broken, and acknowledging that at least one of the victims was actually alive. If Battler had known about the seals earlier, it was likely that he would have advanced the game in a different way to avoid this. In other words, it was very likely that an announcement about the seals would have a large effect on the rest of Battler's game. Eric was saying that Battler avoided breaking the seals because he was pretending to be a corpse and instead remained in the guest room. Perhaps this letter would not appear in the story if Battler was actually alive and had placed the letter there, and then now that Erica's seals had come into play, there was a chance that his trick would cause a contradiction somewhere down the line. That sort of contradiction is called a logic error. A logic error, I think we heard about that really early in the story. It's a violation of the rules, the greatest and worst form of error which side must avoid making. Yeah, I remember. It was something about the two sides of the tale not matching and creating a contradiction. Do you remember that magic for making Kenny appear in this side the overturned cup? Yeah, Mariah, Chen, and Erica are fighting about that. Apparently, that was just a simple trick where someone slipped the candy into the cup while Oni-chan had her eyes closed. That's right, since Murray did not observe the process of the trick, it was only given the result. she accepted the illusion of magic that the candy had appeared by inside the magic cup and magic was established. Okay, so logic error would be a trick has become impossible. If you think about it, Erika Moira's fierce red and blue truth battle, all this magic, was the real opening of this tale's fight. Let's try to remember that exchange. The heartless truth was that it had all been a trick. Making the candy appear in the cup of magic had been nothing more than Beetle's claim. Magic can only do things that one can accomplish. In other words, you can only have a magical result. It's something that could have been done without magic. Let's be clear, there are two general types of magic. If you summon giants, and make towers grow from the ground. But when the lid is taken off and let this happen in the Rose Garden, that's one type of magic. That's just an illusion. It's a lie with no observers that takes place where the witch says it did, and in locates without any type of anti-magic toxin. Magic that doesn't have to match a result is the most simple kind. A lie. This is the same as a worthless delusion, an illusion, a daydream. Even Battler saw through it partway through the third game. Then there's another kind which we might call true magic, magic that matches a result. Where the cup trick is an example of magic that matches a result, since the observer actually checks to see that the cup's contents were empty before seeing a candy appear there, and is thus an actual observer of the incident it's created. I discovered one big rule that magic matching a result has to fall, unlike the magic of illusion. The rule is only the unobserved process of what you accomplish can be transformed into magic. I can speak even more generally and ruthlessly. In short, all forms of magic are tricks. Only things that can be accomplished without magic can have a matching result. Ironically, this also proves that magic does not actually exist. But out of respect for the witch's game, let's call it making the game solvable and fair for the human player. So instead of the candy inside the cup, we now have this mysterious letter that appeared in front of Erika. They have to be tricks. By claiming that the witch set the letter there by magic, Oni-chan is trying to create a magic that matches a result. Correct. Since all of the survivors are sealed within a closed room of the guest house, it is possible to embellish that suddenly appearing letter and say it was a curious bit of magic for only a witch who could have placed it there. But even so, it must be a possible trick in the end. In order for to see through the trick with the candy and cup, Erika had encountered with the blue truth saying that the candy had been snuck in there while her eyes were closed. That was the correct answer, so Moira hadn't had any red that she could use. But what if she hadn't used it? For example, what if I used the red truth then to say, until I lifted the cup, the closed room of the overturned cup remained intact? The red truth could only be used to refer to the truth, right? If you could lie with it, it would be a massive violation of the rules. Yes, denying your own trick with the red truth is a major violation of the rules. However, if you instantly switch to another trick that doesn't follow the red truth, it may be slightly unfair, but that red truth can be acknowledged. So in this case, the witch side wouldn't need to be immediately propose another trick that doesn't contradict the red truth, stating the closed room inside the cup was preserved, like the excuses of a politician when he keeps backchecking as a new evidence is shown to him. Yes, we all for a red like this, she might be able to get away with some painful excuse. Maybe there was some device on the table, or maybe it was a trick cup with a fake bottom. But if those possibilities had been denied beforehand, this would not be valid. The more red truth there are, the harder it is to talk your way out. In actuality, the candy had been put in the cup while Mariah's eyes were closed. However, when Erika saw through that Mariah had used the red truth to sit in the closed room with the cup been preserved, the witch could have to rush and revise the scenario to the trick that would still work logically after the new red. Revising the scenario is an unfair move that would never be allowed in the mystery genre. However, the very act of revising the scenario takes place in the witch's head, which is an unobservable world. So if she claimed that she had been using the trick with the fake bottom cut from the very beginning, no one could deny it. So even if it really was a trick done while Oni-chan's eyes were closed, as long as the witch leaves herself a way out, she can switch between tricks. Rather than calling this an action available to witches, we should probably say that it's only usable by the game master or the one who creates and writes. But even so, the truth must not contradict any of the previously stated red truth. the red truth that makes it so that the trick no longer makes logical sense, then it'll be a mismatch between the two sides of the story. The illusory result that the game master claimed is magic, and the truth result was brought about by a trick. So when we get a contradiction and it no longer makes logical sense, we call it a logic error, and that would mean that this destruction of the witch's game. This world is a game that's possible to explain with humans. In other words, it must be possible for that magic to have been done by tricks as well. If it's impossible to do it with tricks, then the human side has no move, and we get a stalemate. No, not quite. That's why we get the fatal and horrible violation known as the logic error. When the witch's side does this, the game is instantly destroyed, and they suffer a fatal defeat. Erica had probably seen through the Oni-chan's trick without the detective's authority. She shouldn't perform a proper examination of the corpses. Because of that, he continued to play dead and snuck out of the guest room and placed the letter at the entrance to the guest house. However, because Butler was so overly graciously in giving out those retroactive seals, things went wrong. Stupid Oni-chan. The current situation still does not warrant panic. It still hasn't been specified with red truth that the seals around the guest room are intact. He is free to break the seals. If he doesn't, then he could probably have it so someone other than the Butler is alive and swap them as in the person who placed the letter. That's right. It's not just Oni-chan. The other corpses have been specified as dead by the red yet. So far, there wouldn't be any problem if they were all faking. True, this is far too soon for them to get flustered. All it has to do is to change its moves so that Erica's seals and the placement of the letter doesn't contradict each other. Revising the plot said something. What'd that say? And revising the plot without contradictions is one of the moves available to Game Master. However, taking a scenario one has imagined and revising it part way through could sometimes create flaws in the tale. It would be a very regrettable move to make when the first Twilight has only just ended. It would seem that Butler was the one with an enemy piece moved deep behind his lines. This hidden piece will probably cause him pain and discomfort with each step from now on, like a pebble caught in one's shoe. The single pebble might kill Butler. This still was quite a logic error, and though we sealed the room retroactively, we were at fault for the lateness in reporting it, so I have no problem with letting Butler sign retroactively rewrite the plot concerning this letter. Retroactively rewrite the plot? Let's see, if I placed the letter there, then that would become impossible for as soon as I was sealed in that closed room, in which case this letter shouldn't have appeared here. Correct, so I thought you should have the chance to revise this small inconsistency. We just now discovered this letter here. We are saying that we do not mind if you want to undo that, or if you want to use a revised scenario. Just by the existence of the letter and packing tape, this sort of move is possible for Furuto Erica. What do you think, everyone? Damn, what a dirty move. Well, what else should I expect from Erica? I made a promise with Dylan or two that we both play all out and mercilessly. Yes, true. I've been planning to make Butler actually alive and then have him slip out of the guest room, resulting in his disappearance and in the placement of the letter. But if I revise the scenario now that movie's been spotted, it'll be the same as admitting that it was spotted. And if I had to be stubborn about it, I don't want to admit that I was seen through here. I don't want to acknowledge a pathetic plot change where I try to sneak out of the guest room and break the seals. I want to change over to a different trick so that the letter will be placed in my corpse hidden, while still preserving the seals on the guest room. It doesn't really have to be me who places that letter. I can still revise the logic without contradictions. But Butler signing if you can place the letter somehow, or how are you going to make your corpse vanish afterwards? The guest room is sealed. If you don't find a trick to erase the corpse from the closed room right now, a logic error will occur. I still have time. Let me think until the last second. Damn it. With that painful laugh, Butler unconsciously scratched at his head. Anyway, we'll leave the letter like this. I can't say sorry about sorry. Sorry about that. Having that guest room sealed makes a big contradiction, so I'd like to revise my move. Of me acknowledging that she caught me. I feel like the ninja hiding above the ceiling. Even though I was long distance stabbed by a spear, I just withstand the pain, wipe off the blood off the spear, and act as though nothing happened. False courage works well enough. I can't let her know this one hurt. Butler's son. Hey, Pietro, do you know what my face looks like now? I'm sure it's the same expression you had when I managed to hit you where it hurts in the past. Damn it. Pietro couldn't think of anything to say. Useless words of comfort will only get in the way of Butler's rethinking now. What would you, old do you, the old you who created all the closed rooms that tormented me so much in the past? What kind of trick would she use to erase my corpse from a closed room? Burrito trembled and groaned. The older had been expert at closed room tricks. If only that memory, that power could be revived, she would be able to help Battler. There's still time to think. There's still time. Nice going, Erica. That was a dirty move. Okay, guys, my throat is killing me now, so I'm gonna end the video here, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.